Okay, well, hello everyone. Hey, it's me, Professor Cañedo here, and in this video, I want to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about the Daughter of Fortune project that you have to work on. That's due at the end of the summer session. Before I do, I just want to mention that this is the first time I'm using a new device, excuse me, a new gadget to record this video. About a few weeks ago, I picked up one of these Microsoft Surface tablets. I mean, I've been a Mac fan for decades, since actually about the mid 1990s. In fact, I used to have those really big, clunky Performa ones. I think a lot of that stuff was around, I'm sure, but before when some of you were just toddlers, maybe even before some of you were even born. But that just goes to show you how long I've been a fan of Mac products, and I still love the Mac products. I still get them quite a bit. But I wanted to try something different. I've seen the commercials for the Microsoft tablet, and so far I'm really impressed by it. I mean, it's taken me a while to gradually get used to it. So this is the first time I'm recording a video on the Surface, and let's see if it comes out just fine. Okay, well, what I'll do for this video is just give you an overview about the about the Daughter of Fortune stuff. This is actually going to be the first of about 4 videos in which I talk about the breadth of the length or the span of the particular project. The videos I'll have coming up for you real soon are one of them. It's a sample character video. In fact, I'm going to have 2 sample character videos for you. A character video that I first did back in the fall 2014 semester. That's the time when I first started getting more this assignment. So that'll most likely be the second video that I present to you. And then I'm going to present another character video in which this is basically a model of what you guys are going to be doing. That is your character video. So basically, I'm going to be taking on 2 roles, a double characters, much like when an actor has about 2 or 3 different roles in a particular movie. Of course, Peter Sellers, the late great Peter Sellers, terrific British comedian, passed away many years ago, 1980 in fact. But he was known for the Pink Panther films, and he played in the classic Dr. Strangelove Cold War comedy. He played 3 characters in that classic film. So in a sense, I'm taking a cue from Peter Sellers, and I'm going to do 2 characters. So the one character that I'll do for you is actually my own character, in which I play an agent for a shipping company, and I'm trying to get people to sign up and go to California to get on board the ship. One of the ships owned by one of the characters in the story, Paulina del Valle Rodriguez. And I work for Doña Paulina. I'm trying to get people to go to California. Hurry, step right up. A great adventure awaits you in California. The gold, all kinds of magic and instant quick riches, all of that fun stuff. So I'll have that character, and then I'm going to do a character in which this is basically going to be the model that you're going to do. So in other words, I'm going to also take the role of a student in the class and be a character who wants to go to California. I haven't decided yet what character that'll do for that, but I'll definitely decide on that very soon. So before too long, because of course we're on a tight schedule, so I definitely have to get moving with more of these videos. So those will be the 2 videos that'll be coming up, the character videos, and then I'll wrap things up with a video in which I'll show you how to actually upload your videos into to YouTube, and then link the videos on YouTube to Blackboard. But if you know how to record videos already, so whether you're using a Surface like I'm using here, or if you're really good at using the Mac products, of course, whether with the excuse me, everybody. This crazy weather's kind of wreaking havoc on my vocal cords this evening. But whatever you use to decide to record videos. whether it's on your mobile device, your phone, or your computer. If you use something like Photo Booth, which of course is with the Mac products, definitely use that. So whatever device you have to record videos of yourself, do that, and then I'll show you the process to actually send the videos to YouTube, and then in turn link those to Blackboard. So looks like it'll be 4 videos that I'll have all together. And I'll definitely get going on that. So I would say for sure by the beginning of the 3rd week, middle part of the 3rd week, no later than that, all 4 of the videos about Daughter Fortune will be ready to go. So in this one, let me do 2 things for you. First off, let me tell you a little bit about the motivation for this. Why I decided to do this, and why I'm having you not only read A Daughter of Fortune, but also have this double exercise. That is not just your character videos, but also have you write short essays, character essays about us, about some of the characters in the story. But first, a little bit about the rationale why I'm doing this. Back in the fall of 2012. My colleague and friend at the History Department, Dr. Contreras, and I were fortunate enough to be selected for a great project sponsored by the National Endowment for the Humanities, the NEH, and the American Historical Association. It was a program called Bridging Cultures, and it was a 3-part process in which Dr. Contreras and I got to go to 3 different events over the span of 3 consecutive Januaries. So starting in January 2013 at the Huntington Library near Pasadena. Actually, the town is San Marino, but it's near Pasadena. And then the second part was January 2014, in which Dr. Contreras and I had the great fortune to go to Washington, D.C. to the Library of Congress. Interestingly, that was in a time when that really nasty polar vortex was just wreaking havoc in the East Coast, and actually got delayed getting to DC. I got to the conference about a day and a half late because of that. It was quite an adventure, quite an odyssey. I don't have time to talk about all the crazy stuff that I had to go through, but it was definitely quite an interesting experience. But in any case, that was the second part, going to the Library of Congress, and then our project finished off and going to the AHA annual meeting in New York City in January of last year, which was very, very, very fun experience. Both Dr. Contreras and I had to give presentations, parts of panel discussions, things of that nature, to talk about our findings, our interests, what we took away from the program. But one of the things that I really enjoyed was the first part. That was the installment at the Huntington Library in January 2013, was that the focus of those workshops was talking about the Pacific Ocean as like a nation in itself. You see, the rationale for this Bridging Cultures idea is that to look at U.S. history in a new manner, a new perspective, and to look at U.S. history through the lens of both the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. In other words, instead of the U.S. Focusing on the U.S. as a nation and the Pacific and the Atlantic being peripheries, we took a different perspective in that the Pacific is like an ocean, is like a nation in itself, and the other country and the countries that surround the Pacific, whether it's in North America, of course, like the U.S. and Mexico and Canada, South America, of course, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and then of course you have Asia, China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and so forth. The idea was to look at the Pacific through the lens of it being a nation, and how people crossing the Pacific, goods, people, ideas, all of that stuff, we're like the residents, that is, of the nation of the Pacific. So one of the things that was looked at in the Pacific program was the migration of people from places like South America to California during the gold rush, and And one of the professors, in fact, a professor from UC Irvine, really focused in on the component quite a bit in people going from South America, particularly Chile, to the Western U.S., particularly California. And one of the authors that he mentioned was the Chilean author Isabel Allende. I've been a fan of Isabel Allende since I was in graduate school. House of the Spirits is one of my favorite all-time books. Eva Luna is also one of her great books. But Daughter of Fortune was a story I had heard of, but never really knew until the professor, I think his name is Professor David Igler from UC Irvine, talked about it. And he talked about the various themes that Allende presented in the course of her story of people that is not only moving from Chile to California, but people from China, like our friend Dao Jian, whom we'll meet a little bit later on in the story. Excuse me. And then we hear about the people who were from England, of course, like the Summers family, Jacob, Todd, those type of people, how they came from England, of course, across the Atlantic to South America, ended up in Chile, and then made the journey from Chile to California during the early days of the gold rush. And one of the things that us participants in this Bridging Cultures project had to do was to try to incorporate stuff that we learned from various aspects of both the Pacific and the Atlantic portions of the program, and incorporate that into our classes. How do we do that? How can we use the stuff from this Bridging Cultures program into our classes? How could we try to bring a new perspective that is of either the Atlantic or the Pacific into our classes? So I got the idea that since I've been a fan of Latin American literature for many years since graduate school, Isabel Allende has been a favorite of mine for quite a while. I figured, well, how about if I do this? I'll take the Daughter of Fortune story and put it in my class, and let's make us that is not just you in the class, the students, but the professor too. Let's all be a part of the Daughter of Fortune story and go along with Isabel Allende's characters. So much like Eliza, who is going to make the journey from Valparaiso, Chile, into San Francisco, and then of course some of the others too. Let's go along with them and let's invent our own characters and follow along with the story. Let's put ourselves back in time in the middle part of the 19th century, because the gold rush was a really transformative time, not just for California, but of course for the United States and for the world on many levels. If anything, Allende's story seems to bring about the idea that in California you can reinvent yourself. You can go there no matter what your lot in life was, whether you were a wealthy aristocrat or a used to be wealthy aristocrat from Chile, if you were someone escaping bad debts, prison, your enemies from France, and you come over to California, or if you're someone who if you're an escaped slave from the South and you want to get away, so you're not captured, you end up in California, or if you're someone from China who's escaping poverty, that is the ravages of colonialism, as the English were establishing colonies, especially places like Hong Kong in the 19th century, and you want to get away from all that, so you come to California too. So in other words, my perspective was, let's put ourselves at that moment in time, in that when these people come to California in the 19th century, they're reinventing themselves. And that's been quite a dominant theme in California in all its history, because if you consider whether you go to Hollywood to try to be famous, that is, you're from a poor farming community in Iowa, and you want to be a Hollywood movie star, you want to be the next star, the next Marilyn Monroe, as it were. So you go to Hollywood, you go to California to try to reinvent yourself. Likewise with all the guys who used to in the rock and roll bands, whether it was the guys who ended up in the legendary bands, of course, like Van Halen, Motley Crue, Rat, Poison, the heavy metal hair bands back in those days. Chances are you came from other parts of the country too, and you wanted to strike it rich in California. So you want to be a big rock and roll star. So from that perspective, you're reinventing yourself. So in other words, California, in its early history, and I would argue even dating back to the time when it was a Spanish part of the Spanish Empire that is starting in the middle parts of the 16th century. California always had this imagery. It was a magic land, a place to go for refuge, to reinvent yourself. So in essence, that's what we're doing here. So in other words, everybody, my main point is that I'm just trying to make U.S. history a little bit more unique in that I want to put us into that perspective at that moment in time in the 19th century. So that's why I'm having you guys create your own characters, in that you're part of the story too, and you want to go to California to strike it rich, but maybe you have other ideas in mind. Maybe gold mining isn't for you, but you want to establish new enterprises. You want to grow crops. You want to have vineyards. You want to have restaurants. You want to open up hotels, or you want to open up, have cattle ranching. In other words, I want you to create characters based on the context of the story, and then you tell me why you want to go to California. That's basically the gist of the gist of the entirety of the assignment. That is, you put yourself into the story, you create a character, and you explain why you want to go to California. So in other words, that's the video part. That is, you make up your own character. Just please don't copy anybody from the story. So don't take the guy's, excuse me, don't take the personality that you want to be Eliza Summers, you want to be Jacob Todd, or you want to be Captain Vincent Katz. No, don't be a character. That is, don't copy a character from the story and pass it off as your own. Make up your own character, your own storyline. I'll explain more how to do all of that when I show you the 2 sample character videos coming up within the next week. All right, now the other part of the Daughter of Fortune stuff, and I'll go ahead and say a few things about this, and then I'll wrap up the video, is to just develop a short character sketch. That is, now here's the part where you actually choose one of the characters from the story and do, you might say, a psychological profile, a character study. What is it about this character that really draws you to him or her? I don't have the information worksheet in front of me, so I forget the exact page numbers I had, but I know it wasn't that much. I think I had 3 to 4 pages, so I'm not asking for a really lengthy paper. Save that for the video assignment and the EBSCO assignment. But just a quick character sketch in terms of you talk about your favorite character in the story. What was it that you liked about him or her? What things could he or she had done differently? And talk about his or her strengths, faults, weaknesses, motivations. What do you think were the things that were really driving or motivating her? So no matter what character you like from the story, whether it's one of the main characters like Eliza, or one of the more periphery characters like the people in the traveling caravan, what it was Joe Bone Crusher, or the Indian Tom No Tribe, or any of the other minor characters. I'll leave it up to you. So in other words, what you're to do is choose one of the characters that's from the story, develop a quick character sketch, and of course, as I mentioned with the other assignments, make sure you have good coherent paragraphs. Don't make them very short, and please don't make them excessively long. And at the end of your essay, explain, that is, what happens to him, or what do you think happens to him or her? So if you chose the character Joaquin Andieta, in your final paragraph or two, explain what you think happened to Joaquin. Did he survive? Did he get away from California? Did he go back to Chile? Or did he die? Was he killed in an ambush? So in other words, I'll let you be Isabel Allende for a time, and that you tell me what you think happens to the characters. In other words, you're going to engage in not only psychological profile. So I'm kind of asking you to take the role of Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, or any of those other people who are involved in psychoanalysis, But aside from that, then also take on the role of Allende herself, and then extrapolate, or at least explain what you think was the final fate of people that is like Eliza, like Dao Jian, like Paulina del Valle, Jacob Todd, or any of the other characters of the story. So that's what you do for the character sketch, and again, the due date for that is is during the last week. If I remember correctly, again, I don't have the worksheet here, but I think that the last date was Thursday, the last Thursday of the session. So there, everybody. That's the gist of the whole Daughter of Fortune stuff. So when it comes to the video character, that is, for the video, you make up your own character and you explain why you want to go to California. And again, I'll have the 2 sample videos to better illustrate what it is that you need to do. So that's the first part, and the second part is to do a character sketch, a character study of one of the characters from the story. So in this case, you pick one of the characters from the story, the one that you like the most. Or maybe it's someone that you don't like the most, but you find him or her intriguing, that you want to talk about him or her. So that's fine too. But my point is, for that part of the Daughter of Fortune stuff, you choose one of the characters from the story, and do a character sketch, personality, a profile, so to speak, and then. A good thing the video's coming to everybody, because my voice is really starting to give out a little bit here. This weather definitely isn't doing much good for me, is what I try to say. But again, my point is, for this part, that second part of the Daughter of Fortune stuff, you choose one of the characters of the story, write about him or her. And again, if you have any questions about any of these 2 parts, again, talk to me in messages for Professor, and just be sure that you choose from the list of people in the class. It's Oscar Canedo, instructor. Just write to me, and of course, you can definitely expect a timely reply. So definitely, any concerns or questions, you know how to reach me. And with that, I think that should do it. So again, this is the first of the 4 Daughter of Fortune nuts and bolts videos. When I rejoin you next time, I'll go ahead and give you a sample character video in which I'll show you my own character of the Daughter of Fortune story. All right, everybody, that's it from here. So you guys take care. Try and stay cool these next few days, and I'll talk to you again very soon.